Hello, 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 and welcome back to Conversations with JR. Of course, I am JR Floyd, your host. And before I get into today's topic, I would like to just say thank you to all of my supporters. I see that you're really supporting my Facebook page. And the last live Facebook that when I went live on Facebook, and the topic was shacking up. It the response was beautiful, and I thank everyone who is viewing, liking, leaving comments, and sharing on other websites. I also like to say thank you to all of my YouTube subscribers. Please encourage other people, share, encourage other people to subscribe to my YouTube page, watch my videos, like my videos, and have some conversations about my video. I also like to say thank you very much to Professor Van. He is an English lecturer over at the Burr Manhattan Community College. He's the latest person to join my YouTube channel. And your encouragement, Professor Van, I know you're watching. Your encouraging words they mean everything to me. And I deeply appreciate your words of encouragement and your words of support. And I just appreciate everything that everybody is saying to me. And I just appreciate the love and support that everyone is giving me throughout this pushing forward of my brand, Conversations with JR. So, getting down to tonight's topic. Tonight's topic is, of course, another topic that is directly directed towards women, but if males feel that they can connect to the topics that I am talking about, please be my guest because Conversations with JR, we do not discriminate. And my core values is about men and women empowerment and looking at the dysfunctional structure of family and see how we can begin to heal through conversation. So tonight's topic is about dry spells, the myth about dry spells. And let me just explain. Dry spells is this myth that women have going on and label the periods in between relationships or situationships. And why should there be, I'm asking a question, why should there be periods between relationships and situationships? So that means that you're running from relationship to relationship, and these dry spells is what women consider to be the waiting period between these relationships. And the reason why I would like to address this is because, first of all, let me ask you a question, ladies. Running from relationship to relationship and situationships, aren't you mentally tired, physically drained, because you are giving yourself over sexually to all these men that you're running into these situationships and relationships with? And aren't you financially drained and financially unstable? Because I know that in some of these relationships and situationships, women are supporting men, giving men gift, lending men money, and that's a topic for another conversation with JR. But I just want to put that out here because I'm going to go directly back to what I intend to talk about tonight, and it's these dry spells. And the myth about these dry spells is this is what women, and a lot of older women, are doing this to younger women. And sisters are doing it to each other. And once a woman says that she feels stressed out, especially if you're single, pay attention. If you're single, if a woman says she's feeling tired, she's feeling stressed out, she needs some downtime, she just feeling very frustrated. I noticed that the first thing a sister will tell another sister or a woman will tell another woman or a younger woman, girl, you know what you need, right? You just need to get you some. And we know the some that the woman is talking about. You just need to get hit off real good. You know how you need to go ahead and release that stress. And I noticed that we speak negatively about a lot of women when you see, especially sisters, when you see them frustrated, depressed, going through a lot, confusion, the first thing we say, and I used to be guilty of this, the first thing we'll say about them, because you don't even know the journey that they're going through, and the first thing that we say about them, girl, you know what's wrong with her. She just need to get a man. She just need to go out here and get herself. Now, what's wrong with that is this. Oh, she's been in a dry spell for a very long time. You know what happens when you don't get any. These are all the myths that we put and inside our heads and society puts in our head, and then women sit around and talk about it. What's wrong with that, number one, is that we are encouraging women to go out here and give their bodies away. That's the first thing that is wrong with that, especially these young women. So what you're telling them is that what they need to do is just go out there and get a man, any man. Could be somebody else's man. Could be a man on a down low. But just go out there and get yourself relieved through sexual activity. We're setting these young women up to fail. We're setting women up to fail. Because what are we saying to them? That your body is not of value? I put out a YouTube video a couple weeks ago that says women should stop using their bodies for tools for negotiation. Well, women should also stop encouraging other women to go out there and to relieve this stress and this frustration and this depression. And girl, you know what's wrong with you by going out there and saying you need to go out there and get you a man and relieve it through sexual contact. I said it and I'm putting it out there. We should encourage women, young girls, and talk to them about what's stressing them out, what they're confused about, what they're frustrated about. People are in the grind, working 2 jobs, home, husband, kids, no kids, single. There's a lot going on. But for us as women, to advise another woman who basically sometimes these women are not married. Now it's a different thing if you're married and you're feeling stressed and you're feeling frustrated. And I tell you, listen, girl, go get you a babysitter and have some time with your husband. Maybe that's what you need. That's a different story. But we are telling women who are single, some of these women who are side pieces, that all they need to do is go and have some intimate time, some sexual time with a man, and that is going to relieve them of their stress, their frustration, and their problem. We don't say have a spa day. Take a mental overnight trip to Atlantic City and in a hotel room by yourself, bubble bath, go to the gym, do some yoga, take yourself out. We don't say any of these positive things. Yet the first thing we do is say, girl, you in a dry spell. And you know what happens when you stay in them dry spells too long. Well, I'm going to share with you. I was one of those women who talked about being in dry spells, and I fell into that trap of, oh, I've been in this dry spell for long enough. Now I need to come out. Now I need to come out and get me someone, because that's going to help me. The dry spell isn't a problem. That's not the problem. That's a myth. So I want to share with you today, if you just bear with me, I want to share with you a chapter that I wrote in my book, The Waiting Game, that's out on Amazon.com. And the chapter is called Fast Forward. And what happened was, I was in what I thought to be a self-induced dry spell. And I thought that the only thing I needed to do to emerge out of that dry spell was to get me a man. Was to get right back out there and get into a relationship and get me a man. When what I didn't realize was the man wasn't the answer. And I was not in a dry spell. I was not in a dry spell. So, here we go. Conversations with JR. And this is what happened to me about my dry spell. Dangerous things happen as a result of a woman staying in a dry spell too long. So I thought. When she emerges from a barren place, she is thirsty. And after the first sign of water, she will run towards it, even if it's poison water. I stayed in a self-imposed dry spell for as long as I did to punish myself for losing Mario. And as a result, my senses became dull. Against all odds, I financially supported myself through college. Along the way, I've had some interesting occupations such as a freelance writer, teacher, short order cook at a resort, theater manager, stockroom associate, and landscaper, all which I enjoyed and learned a great deal from. Yet, after 11 years, I am no longer better off relationship-wise. When I laid eyes on Patrick, I licked my parched lips. I thought he was the light brown sweet elixir I needed to quench my thirst and soothe my itch. I convinced myself that I needed to bring back the joy into my life with a relationship. Yes, I had come full circle right back to the myth that life wasn't complete without relationship drama. When I was sizing up Patrick and planning how I was going to make my move, I recall some advice my mother once gave me when she said, when she was comforting me after another woman stepped in front of me and took the man that I was interested in. Mom said, when you see something you want, you speak up. I got down to business, preparing a list of relationships do's and don'ts, and I was determined this time around to set boundaries and standards. I wasn't going to play coy. I would set standards and stick to them. I wasn't going to be the loser this time around. High on my list, the 90-day rule, the 90-day cookie rule. In other words, keep the cookie in the jar until I am ready to give up the goodies. In the past, I gave up the cookie too fast because I was pressured into it even when I felt uncomfortable, giving into sexual demands. I was given lines like, you know you want it, or what are you waiting for? It's not like you're a virgin. There was times when I wasn't interested in being intimate. I wanted to take my time and get to know the man that I was going to give myself to. Most of the time when I said yes, when I really meant no, I did so because I was afraid that he would force himself on me. Men don't call forced sex rape. They consider it consensual sex. While I was compiling my list, the issues of controlling behavior came to mind. And when I thought back to the controlling behavior of Sherman, it sends chills up my spine. I made a mental notation to be watchful for controlling behavior in Patrick. Next on the list was the social requirements. I wanted to be more social outside of the house instead of sitting at home doing the same routine. Eat, drink, have sex, and sleep. Boring. There was the matter of availability. Reflecting back to the times I made myself available when the men wanted me to, even when it was inconvenient for me. I disliked men's lack of consideration for me. It didn't matter what was important to me. When they called, I had to come running. I did so in fear that he would call someone else. I did it to keep him interested. I did it because I didn't want him to leave. I did it because I want him to feel that I was his woman and that I had his back. That was another nasty habit that I needed to be cured of. Putting his needs before mine. No matter in the end, they moved on. That's what men seem to do when they see greener passage. I studied that list daily and added things like, don't allow him to leave his clothes at my house. Do speak up when I feel like I'm being not heard or respected. Don't allow him to interrogate me after I've been out with the girls. Don't ask questions when I will ask questions when the pieces of his story didn't fit. Don't surrender information about past relationships. While I was conspiring to catch and bag Patrick, it never crossed my mind that he would not be one of those men that didn't like women playing hardball or being too overly aggressive. The warning signs was there from the start, and I chose to ignore them. The first sign that I should have given up was when we kept having difficulty in securing the first date. We would make plans, then change the dates, then cancel that date, and then have to reschedule again from the dates that we canceled the plans from. At first, he claimed it was work, schedule, and then he said he had a lot of personal problems. I fell back into old patterns. I forgot that the world is full of men, so I zoomed on this one. He had to be the one because all the others weren't. Second bad choice. I jumped into savior mode. Ladies, men don't need saving, and if they do, you're not the one to do it. I insist that he tell me what was happening in his life. Maybe I could help him. Wrong move. I wanted to seem concerned that while I was helping myself to him. Ladies, be real careful what you push for, because there is no turning back once you open that door marked danger. Enter at your own risk. What I didn't realize was that I was paving the way for my own demise. The more he confided in me, the more I didn't realize this was how he wrote me into his plan. His story was like so many others. He was a good man trapped in a bad situation. Does this sound familiar, ladies? This is just part of my story about what happened to me after I came out of what I thought was a dry spell. It wasn't a dry spell. It was me listening to other people telling me, basically women, that I needed to go out there and find me a man. And that was going to cure my dry spell, because what I needed was sex. That's what I needed. I needed a good old romp in the bed to relieve my stress. Now, if you want to know what happened between me and Patrick, Mr. Light Brown Elixir, that was going to quench my thirst and soothe my itch, The Waiting Game is available on Amazon. It's available on Amazon. I started off by talking about dry spells. Ladies, there is no such thing. It's a myth. There is a myth. And I'm not encouraging women. I don't care what age you are, old, young, whatever you want to say. Whatever age, whatever you say. I'm not going to encourage any woman that sit around me, any young lady that sit around me and tell me that she feels stressed, she feels frustrated, she feels depressed, and whatever else that she's feeling. I am never ever going to say to her, the only thing that you need is to go out there and find you a man and release your sexual frustrations. Because people are frustrated for other reasons other than what we are saying to them and other what we are putting in their head. Well, ladies, let's stop encouraging other women to go out there and give their bodies away. Let's collectively find ways that we can help one another. We need to preserve our bodies. We need to preserve our sacredness. We need to preserve ourselves. Listen, people say wait till you get married, wait till you find one. I don't know about any of that. I'm 55 years old right now, and I am going to stay and live in being in celibacy. I did it before. I did it before for like 5 years before I broke it myself for all the wrong reasons. And I wasn't bothered by it. It never occurred to me that I need to go out there because that's what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to do. And it had nothing to do about being a born-again virgin or saving myself for the next man. I was doing this for me. For me. Because this was part of my healing. It was part of my healing. So let's stop with these myths and telling these young ladies to go out there and throw themselves at these men and give themselves away to these men. There's no such thing as a dry spell. There is no such thing as a dry spell. And there's better ways to Release frustration and confusion and anger. There are other ways to do it, okay? There's other ways to do it. So I started off by saying thank you to everyone who is supporting Conversations with JR. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Conversations with JR. Like this video, share it on Facebook. I have a new website out. It is Conversations with JR on squarespace.com. Go to my Facebook page, click on the link, support my Instagram page. I am very thankful for everything that everyone is doing to keep me encouraged to keep talking to you. So until I have a next topic, I hope that you're having conversations with everyone, because everything, I'm going to tell you this right now, everything, all the healing that we need to have in this world is going to start by us sitting down, having an open mind, and having some good conversations. Thank you.